Your favorite collectible might look perfectly safe, but one careless touch, the wrong display case, or an invisible change in humidity could already be damaging it. All right, let's see how sharp you really are. 10 questions, no hints, no second chances. I'll give you the statement. You decide, fact or fiction? Think fast, trust your instincts, and keep score, because some of the most popular preservation advice is dangerously wrong. Ready? Let's test your collecting knowledge. Question 1. Here's your first statement. Clean cotton gloves are always the safest choice when handling valuable collectibles. The answer is fiction. This sounds like responsible advice, but cotton gloves are not always the safest option. The fibers can catch on fragile edges, textured surfaces, loose threads, or delicate components. Cotton gloves may also reduce your sense of touch, making it easier to grip an object too tightly or accidentally drop it. For many paper collectibles, photographs, metals, and sensitive surfaces, clean, properly fitted, powder-free nitrile gloves may offer better control and protection. However, some sturdy objects can be handled safely with freshly washed and completely dry hands. The correct method depends on the material, not simply on whether you are wearing gloves. Question 2. Next statement. Holding a collectible by its edges can reduce the risk of fingerprints, oils, and surface damage. The answer is fact. Your hands naturally carry oils, moisture, salts, lotions, and other contaminants. When transferred onto a collectible, these substances can leave fingerprints, attract dirt, stain surfaces, accelerate corrosion, or react with coatings over time. Holding coins by their rims, photographs by their borders, and trading cards or documents by their edges reduces direct contact with important surfaces. But edge handling is not permission to squeeze. Use gentle pressure, support larger objects from underneath, and work over a clean, stable surface. One careful habit can prevent damage that may not become visible until years later. Question 3. Let's continue. If a plastic sleeve is clear and flexible, it is safe for long-term collectible storage. The answer is fiction. Appearance tells you very little about whether plastic is suitable for preservation. Some plastics contain plasticizers or other additives that can migrate as the material ages. The sleeve may become sticky, cloudy, brittle, or chemically unstable. Certain materials can transfer residue, trap harmful substances, or contribute to the deterioration of paper, photographs, cards, and other collectibles. Collectors should look for storage products specifically intended for archival or conservation use. Commonly preferred options include appropriate grades of polyester, polyethylene, and polypropylene. Products containing plasticized PVC are generally avoided for sensitive long-term storage. A cheap sleeve can become an expensive mistake. Question 4. Pay attention to this one. A collectible should be picked up by its strongest looking part, such as a handle, arm, stand, or decorative attachment. The answer is fiction. The strongest looking part may actually be the object's weakest structural point. Handles, figurine limbs, mounted decorations, bindings, straps, and display stands can become brittle or loose with age. They may have hidden cracks, weakened adhesive, previous repairs, or internal stress that cannot be seen. Whenever possible, support the main body of the object with both hands. Before moving a complex collectible, check for loose components and remove detachable pieces when it is safe to do so. Never trust an old handle simply because that is what it was originally designed for. Age can completely change how an object should be handled. Question 5. We're halfway there. Keeping every collectible in its original packaging always provides the best possible protection. The answer is fiction. Original packaging may add historical interest and market value, but it was not necessarily designed to preserve an item for decades. Old foam can crumble or become sticky. Rubber bands can harden and stain. Adhesives may yellow, fail, or transfer onto the collectible. Plastic windows can warp, crack, or release unwanted compounds as they age. Boxes may also contain acidic cardboard or trap moisture against the item. The original packaging should usually be preserved as part of the collectible's history, but it may need additional support or separation using suitable archival materials. Original does not automatically mean protective. Sometimes the packaging and the object must be preserved as two related but separate items. Question 6. Let's raise the difficulty. Stable temperature and humidity are usually more important than achieving one supposedly perfect number. The answer is fact. Different materials have different preservation needs, so there is no single perfect environment for every collection. But repeated environmental changes can be especially destructive. Wood, paper, leather, fabric, and other organic materials expand and contract as humidity changes. Metals may corrode more quickly in damp conditions. Adhesives, paint layers, and mixed material objects can respond at different rates. That movement can cause warping, splitting, flaking, cracking, mold, and structural stress. This is why attics, basements, garages, windowsills, and areas near radiators or air vents are often dangerous storage locations. A reasonably controlled and stable environment is generally safer than one that repeatedly swings between extremes. Question 7. This one catches people off guard. Silica gel packets can be placed inside any sealed display case and then forgotten permanently. The answer is fiction. Silica gel does not have unlimited capacity. It absorbs moisture until it reaches equilibrium with its surroundings. After that, it may no longer provide the protection the collector expects. Some types can be dried and reconditioned, while others need to be replaced. The amount required also depends on the case volume, the seal, the surrounding environment, and the materials being stored. Using too much drying material without monitoring conditions can also create an environment that is unsuitable for certain organic collectibles. Desiccants are preservation tools, not magic packets. If humidity matters, use an appropriate humidity monitor and maintain the system regularly. Question 8. Stay focused. Even acid-free storage materials can eventually become unsafe if they are exposed to pollution, moisture, or deteriorating objects. The answer is fact. Archival quality materials provide valuable protection, but they do not remain untouched by their environment forever. Boxes, boards, folders, and tissue can absorb airborne pollution, moisture, acids, and deterioration products released by the objects around them. They can also become stained, weakened, contaminated by mold, or damaged by insects. A label saying acid-free does not eliminate the need for inspection. Collectors should periodically examine both the collectible and its storage materials. Replace enclosures that become discolored, distorted, damp, brittle, dirty, or contaminated. Preservation is an ongoing process, not a one-time purchase. Question 9. Almost there. Handling a collectible less frequently can sometimes protect it better than repeatedly inspecting, cleaning, or reorganizing it. The answer is fact. Every interaction creates an opportunity for damage. A collectible can be dropped, bent, scratched, exposed to skin oils, placed on a contaminated surface, or returned incorrectly to its enclosure. Regular condition checks are important, especially when monitoring mold, pests, corrosion, or environmental problems, but unnecessary handling can create more risk than protection. Plan inspections carefully. Prepare a clean workspace. Remove food and drinks, use the correct handling equipment, and document the object so it does not need to be repeatedly removed. For delicate collections, good photographs and condition records can help reduce unnecessary contact. Sometimes the safest handling method is simply not handling the item at all. Question 10. This is the final question, and it's the one that surprises most people. Many collectibles are damaged not by neglect, but by well-intentioned attempts to protect, repair, display, or improve them. The answer is fact. This may be the most important preservation lesson of all. Collectors can unintentionally cause permanent damage by using household tape, permanent glue, rubber cement, cleaning chemicals, polish, lamination, pressure-sensitive labels, unsuitable frames, or airtight containers with unstable materials inside. A repair that looks successful today may discolor, shrink, harden, stain, or become impossible to remove years later. Even professional-looking display choices can create risks. Strong lighting can cause fading. Tight mounts can create pressure damage. Sealed cases may trap moisture or chemical vapors. Fresh paint, wood products, adhesives, and some plastics can release compounds that react with collectibles. Preservation decisions should be reversible whenever possible. If an item is rare, historically important, structurally unstable, or highly valuable, consult a qualified conservator before cleaning or repairing it. The goal is not to make an old collectible look new. The goal is to preserve its authenticity, stability, history, and future. All right, how did you do? Drop your score in the comments and tell us which answer surprised you most. Be honest. 8 or more? You understand preservation better than most collectors. Less than that? You may have just saved one of your collectibles from a very expensive mistake. On My Premium collection, collectors can organize their collections, document important details, connect with fellow enthusiasts, and share the stories behind the objects they value. Hit like, subscribe, and come back for the next MPC Fact or Fiction Challenge. Because collecting is about more than owning something. It's about protecting its story. And knowing more is how you stay ahead.